Yes. Technical issue.
What is it?
So it's a different file.
It's the, remember that I told you that it was, you had to go back to them.
Yo,
You
was
know
it the
what
one
the
that said
the
icebreaker?
icebreaker was?
Yeah, the
And
icebreaker
that's
one.
one, but then it goes to the next
We
one.
just go to the next one. It's the same file, but
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. So just go to
Okay.
the next
Next
slide.
one.
There. Okay. So volunteering in Canada. What does that mean? Here are some facts for you. In Canada, we have 13.3 million volunteers. When I saw that, I was amazed. Incredible. And these 13.3 people volunteer 2 billion hours a year. So that's tremendous, and that just shows how much we are collaborating to improve health, to improve education, to improve our communities and socially in many different ways. Volunteering is considered as fundamental to a healthy society. Volunteers brings their personal talents, like I just said earlier with our icebreaker. We all have different talents to bring to the table, interests, professional skills, and education to respond to needs in our communities. Volunteers also see a way to volunteer based on what they can get, but also on what they can gain, what kind of skills, and that's what many of you will be learning a lot, many skills that you can't even imagine at this point. This is the list of our board of directors, and Stella has mentioned before, Janet, she's a translator, so she's a language specialist. We have Scott from Toronto Police, and myself, I'm an accountant. Claire, she's a strategic planner, and Eva, and she's the engineer in the group, and Stella works as the social community worker at the schools, which is our link to our purpose. Now, with SEN, our membership represents the nonprofit organization, and we deal with the public and the private sector. SEN has worked in partnership with over 200 volunteers within the last 10 years that we've been active. And some of these associations that we have worked with are the Toronto School Board, San Lorenzo Community Center, Ministry of Education, the Toronto Police, Voces Latinas, Hispanic Fiesta, the colleges and universities. We also attract volunteers from different groups, for students, youth, and families. We also allow newcomers and give them that opportunity to volunteer and to be able to contribute and integrate into their new communities, develop the skills, and gain some Canadian experience. Now, I will talk about the Canadian Code for Volunteer Involvement. What is the Canadian Code? The Canadian Code provides values, guiding principles, and standards for practice. So, this is a little history about how the Canadian Code came about. It was introduced back in December 2000. And later on, in 2006, was consolidated with the Canadian Administrative Volunteer Resources, which was created in 2002, to create the 2006 revised edition of the Canadian Code for Volunteer Involvement. And I'm going to go through the revised version. What's the purpose of the code? The code was designed to initiate thought and discussion within organizations about the role of volunteers and the impact effective volunteer engagement can have on achieving the strategic goals and advancing the mission of the organization. So what does that mean? As an organization, we have a mission to accomplish, and our volunteers are our major assets to achieve this. And and our responsibility as the organization is to assign the appropriate roles to each of you in order to be effective and in order to accomplish our mission. There are three elements to the code: the value of volunteer involvement, guiding principles for volunteer involvement, and the organizational standard for volunteer involvement. Now let's take a look at the elements in more detail. The value of volunteer involvement. It refers to the fundamental to a healthy society. Again, when we concentrate on education, education improves our lifestyle. So that's one example. It's vital for strong, inclusive, and resilient communities. I really like that line because it really makes our community stronger. The more educated we become, our community becomes stronger and resilient. So in a way that we carry pride and we're seen at a better level. Builds the capacity of organizations. It's personal. So we carry that pride. When you volunteer, it's because you have something in you that you want to give. And as opposed to a job where you do the job because of material reasons, volunteer, there's a greater reward, and it's internal. And it's about building relationships. So that's one thing that we started with the icebreaker. We got to know each other, and as time goes by, we're going to know a lot more about each other, and we're going to become friends. You know, something that if we didn't have this opportunity, we will not have met. The guiding principles for volunteer involvement, it covers two areas. Volunteers have rights, and volunteers have responsibilities. So what does this mean is that at the organization, we are responsible, again, to assign the right roles for you and make sure that you're accomplishing what your goals are as well. It's not what just the organization wants, but also what you're looking for. The volunteers have responsibilities, so whatever you sign up for, you must abide to that. So if you sign up to do registration at the Congress, you better be on time. You better, be responsible about it. So that's what that guiding principle means. And the standards for volunteer involvement, it's very detailed, so I'm just going to list them for you. And again, this is more about the organization, what is our responsibility as an organization. So it's mission-based approach. So every organization must have a mission. Human resources, which is the volunteers. Policies and procedures, volunteer administration, risk management and quality assurance, volunteer roles, recruitment, screening, orientation and training, support and supervision, report management, technology, recognition, and evaluation. So at the end of the Congress, we will evaluate each of you, and yeah, you're here for the hours. I guess that's one of the reasons, the reward that you will be getting, the volunteer hours for high school. But there will also be, again, skill development that you, again, at this point, you may not realize, but you will at the end of the conference. And to conclude, I'd like to just read out these three quotes that I found really interesting. It's easy to make a buck. It's a lot tougher to make a difference. And that's why we're here, to make a difference. We're actually challenging ourselves by being here. By Tom Rose. Volunteers do not necessarily have the time. They just have the heart. And again, we're here because there's something inside of us that we want to do. And that's Elizabeth Andrews. Those who can do, those who can do more volunteer. And the author is Rudolph. Thank you very much.
You need
Sure.
What's that?
2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Yeah, just 2 minutes, and then
What slide is this?
it's 17. And that comes from the other one,
It's in this one? Other one?
the other one,
Which one?
the other one, the
This
first
one
one. No, the blue one,
First one.
the first one.
So I'll,
Right here?
That one, yeah, it's
while they're
slide
finding the
17.
slide, let me introduce myself. My name is Rocio. I work at the Ontario Science Center. I talked to you guys last time. I guess you guys were there in the other presentation that we had a month
14,
ago,
slide
like a month ago.
14.
Yeah, so basically,
There.
I was very happy when I heard from Stella the work that the STEM is trying, the SEN is trying to do, reaching out to our community, trying to get more young people involved in science and technology. So the Congress that is coming up in November, November the 8th, I hope to have a presentation for parents. And I'm hoping that the parents that come are the parents that need the help, right? Because I can see you guys, I chatted a little bit with you, I can tell you guys are all smart people here and have an idea what you want to do in your life at school. You are working at school, just like any other kid, maybe struggling with one subject, but you're on a good track, and you know what you want to do with your life. You know that education is important. But we know that within our community, there's a member who may have some challenges. So when Estella invited me, I was very happy. I thought about how can I help from my end. I have knowledge of the Ontario Curriculum of Science and Technology, which is where I think something I can share with our community. And I was trying to brainstorm in my mind, so how can parents, if they don't speak English, how can they still help their kids to do way better at school? And so I hope to, in November, have a set of experiments and activities that parents can bring home. They could be written in Spanish or in English, or in both. They can bring home. I hope that, and have fun with science with their kids at home, with simple things that you can buy at dollar stores and things like that. I also hope to give the parents an idea of what the curriculum is about, the science and math curriculum. Curriculum means the things that you have to learn at school. So if you're in grade 9, you have to learn about astronomy. If you're in grade 11, if you choose physics, then you have to learn about movement, etc. So that's what curriculum is, and you have to learn certain things so that when you go to university, you can apply for some courses. So Stella asked me to mention really briefly STEM. So STEM is actually, the original term came from an American initiative. Stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And it was an ideology that came from the United States government when they realized that there aren't enough people involved in certain types of technology courses or careers that led to jobs. So right now, even all over the world, the U.S., Canada, we have unemployment, high unemployment everywhere, right? So we're trying to reduce unemployment. But even with that, there are jobs out there in science and technology that are not filled. And that's because there aren't people that have the degrees. I'll just give you an example. Here in Canada, in meteorology, the weather people that tell you whether it's going to rain or not next week, etc. In meteorology, there are jobs in that sector, and that's the government of Canada. That would be Environment Canada. And the last time I talked to Environment Canada, they told me that they sometimes post jobs for meteorologists, and they don't have enough applicants. There aren't enough people that go into that field. So that's would be good for our community to know, okay, what are the jobs of the future? They involve, the jobs of the future involve science and technology. There's always going to be jobs in health. There's always going to be jobs with numbers, like all the accounting, etc. Those jobs are always going to be there, no matter how the economy is doing. You're always going to need nurses. You're always going to need doctors. You're always going to need engineers, right? So there are jobs that even in high, challenging economic times, they're still going to be there. But we need to be prepared for it. So in Canada, STEM has been adopted as well. In Ontario, the Ontario Ministry of Education has adopted STEM, but we call it here something different. We call it science. We just call it science and technology. So you'll see STEM in different places. STEM is just science, math, and engineering. Okay, so how does that translate to you as a parent or as a kid? Well, it just translates into you have to study your science, you have to study your math. You have to do well in those courses so that when you graduate, you have opportunities. Okay. I think I had but I think I'm just gonna skip that part. But I'm gonna ask you to invite you. So if you have friends, probably could be from your country, from other countries, where the parents don't speak English, and they maybe say, my kid's not doing well at school. I don't know how to help them. I don't understand the teacher. That you disseminate the information, and so you invite them. In November, there's going to be a conference, and there's going to be these talks and these presentations that are going to help us help our kids at school, even if we don't speak English. That is my focus. Because, like I said, I see that you guys already seem to be on a good track. Most of you all speak English. You're at school, but I'm hoping to be able to help those who have these challenges. So recently, for example. I think I'm going to stop there. So I was thinking that maybe we should I have already friended the Facebook page of SEN, or I've already liked it. But I was thinking that one way that we can disseminate the information maybe is if we, put something on Facebook, because our friends are going to see that, and hopefully they can learn about the upcoming Congress as well that way, Facebook or Twitter, whichever way we communicate.
I'm working on the poster. Yes, I understand. And Scott's going to be about that in
All right, great.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.
This is very important, ladies and gentlemen, because we need to promote this event like Rocío had said.
Okay, so we were promised we'd have everybody out of here by 2, so I'm going to be very brief.
2:15 they said.
2:15? Okay. Essentially, how many people here use social media? It was just touched upon by Russia. How many people have Facebook? And I think that's almost everybody in here has Facebook, right? How many people have Twitter? About half, maybe. How many people use Instagram? 3/4. All right. How many people go on YouTube? Okay. You've been frantically seeing Rudolph and I sitting over here. That little webcam has been live streaming us on 2 different videos here. So everything that we've done here has gone live to YouTube. So.
Did we edit?
Can we edit? Yeah, we can. Editing is possible, and that's something that if somebody is really good at this and social media, and you want to be like the editor and the social media producer for something like this, that would be great. I'm looking for somebody to do things like that. So Rudolph has been sitting here kind of watching what I've been doing here. We did everything with a little webcam, and we've got a little microphone system set up for quality audio on there. So the first session where we welcomed everybody and Estella gave a presentation on the history of Spanish-speaking education network, it's on a YouTube video. And then when we started up again right after the icebreaker with Dolly explaining what the Code of Volunteers was, and then with Rosia with what STEM is, and now with this, it's on the second video. Okay? So I want to actually sit down here. We did it on Google Plus and YouTube. So I started on Google Plus. Does anybody use Google Plus? Few, come see, come saw. It's a great way to connect because when we started on Google Plus and actually hit the start button here, it actually went on to the Spanish Speaking Education Network YouTube page. Okay? So what I want to show you right now is what I call a common hailing frequency. Okay? How many people know what a hashtag is? Yeah, so what's a hashtag? Yeah. Jasmine? You don't know how to explain it? Does anybody know how to explain it? Rudolph?
It's a topic on people, like, using the hashtag, it's like using a topic.
It's a topic. Okay? It's the ultimate common hailing frequency. So if we all say have a Facebook account or a Twitter account, some have Facebook, some have Instagram, some have Twitter, blah, 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 some have Google Plus. The bottom line is if we're all using one hashtag, which means we put a number sign in front of it, we can all see what everybody's saying everywhere if we want to. So if we go on Facebook and we type in the hashtag, we'll be able to see what somebody who's not even a friend of ours put up from this very room. Because I've put a lot of content out from this room. So what I've tried to do is reproduce the room. And because I'm Toronto Police Social Media Officer, I have access to Toronto Police social media. And we've got over 85,000 people that follow us on Twitter. So I put one tweet out onto Toronto Police Twitter, and I put the hashtag SSENEDU, which means Spanish Speaking Education Network, and then EDU is kind of short form for education. Okay, so I'm going to just go down here and I'm going to show you what the hashtag looks like because we've been using the SSENEDU hashtag leading up for the 6th Congress of Education ever since we were trying to find the right venue. Okay, so we've been building it as we go, and that's what everybody can do by building it and kind of working together if we're all working on the same terms. Okay, so I'm just going to go onto Twitter here, and all I did on Twitter, there's my Twitter. I'm Graffiti BMX Cop. Okay, I also, and I've got 8,850 people, and I'm going to use Twitter here because Twitter's kind of the ultimate connector. Okay, if you go on to the other one that I run, Toronto Police, you'll see that there are 87.4 thousand people that are following that account. And when you scroll down a little bit on the Toronto Police timeline, you're going to see a lot of things going on. Like there's the Caravana flags and colors that's going on just around the corner. And there's a whole bunch of people out there putting content out. And I'm seeing it and I'm putting it out to more people. All right? So, but as you go down, there's some more of the colors. And they're the youth and policing students. That's where I'm getting this content from. And as you go down, guess what? Guess what is right there? Right there on the Toronto Police account, it says, our Youth and Policing Initiative praised July 12th, SSENCA, that's the Spanish Speaking Education Network, that's Estella's Twitter, for helping youth achieve success and safety. And all I did was I took a picture of the computer here with Estella doing the presentation here. And what's in it is a picture of some kids that Estella came to the Youth and Policing graduation and took a picture with some Spanish students, and there's our police chief, right? And so I put that out on the Toronto Police to 87,000 people, just from sitting there with my phone. So instead of actually using Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that to always talk about ourselves, we can use it to talk about something good as a group, as volunteers, that when you go to get a job, it says on there, wow. First thing they do when you go to get a job these days is they'll Google you, right? Well, guess what's going to come up for Rudolph? That he was sitting right here, right? Because, and what could Rudolph do to help this event? He's already been trying to do it because I was showing him in my office when we were working this week. What were you doing, Rudolph?
Tweeting and retweeting.
Okay, and if he was tweeting and retweeting, and he was putting things into Spanish and English because I can't speak Spanish or English. So if you go, I can't speak Spanish. so there's Rudolph. There's Rudolph. Now, what did Rudolph do right here? I picked him up this morning, and when he came out here, I said, stand in front of that library sign, Rudolph. I'm going to take your picture. And so I put it on my Twitter on Graffiti BMX Cop, and Rudolph decided, that's kind of cool. I'm going to retweet it because I tagged his Twitter name on it, right? And so he took mine and he put it out there. And as you go down here, you'll see that there's Rudolph sitting in my office, and I'm saying grateful to have a Spanish-speaking youth and policing student work on #SoMe, that means social media, to help translate, and I put SSEN-EDU and Yippee. Okay, and what I'm trying to do is get it all out there. And what did Rudolph do? He put out, and this is where you can help, he put out the poster for today's event in Spanish. He wrote it all out. I said, this is what I want to say in English. Can you help me do it in Spanish? He did it in Spanish and put it on his account. And what did I do with that one? I retweeted it on the Toronto Police account. 85,000 people, right? So it's just everybody working together. But the good thing is this kind of, you're probably looking at it going, I'll never remember all this. How am I going to figure this out? Right? All you got to remember is the hashtag. SSENEDU. And if you're posting things on Instagram, you're posting things on Facebook about this event, always put SSENEDU. So Rudolph just clicked on SSENEDU, and if you just scroll down there, Rudolph, STEM means science, technology, and STEM means science, technology, engineering, mathematics, explains Rocio Navarra to SSENEDU volunteer training. Just click on the photo there, Rodolfo. There we go. Right? We're outside of the room, and when I tweet, it goes right directly to the Toronto Police website. So people are starting to say, what's this SSENEDU all about? Right? Well, this is about getting over, because if you scroll down a little bit more, just back up. As we went through today, I'll just go through the tweets. That was me too, the Ontario, this is gang prevention, no to gangs. That's when I first met Estella. Remember when she said that when I first met her, I was working with that volunteer organization, so I put a picture out about the code of volunteer involvement with Dolly. I put that out up there. A picture of Dolly's on there. Here is, I do Canada Crime Stoppers, anonymous tips to prevent and solve crime. So I put Dolly up there saying that she recognized over 13 million volunteers in Canada. And I put SSENEDU hashtag on Canada Crime Stoppers. Well, the whole of Canada's looking at that now, right? There's the Toronto Police one that I said. And the one that I wanted to kind of show you, just to hit this photo here. There's all of you there from the back of the room, right? Explaining how this is all going to work. And oh, this one right here, really important. Click on this one. This is the one I was trying to get at. I put some history because people might say, why are we doing this? Well, it's right there going out into a big stream. In 2002, which seems to be a long time ago, 37.5% of Spanish-speaking kids in this city dropped out of school. 2002, Stella and the team and a whole bunch of people have been working on that ever since, right? And we're not going to forget that. It's not just Spanish kids, as you'll see here. there's Portuguese kids and Somali kids. And each community out there is trying to do this to help their own community, and they're trying to do the best they can. And so the more we understand how all this works, the better it'll be. Okay, so just scroll down. I just want to go down to the bottom. There's Rudolph again. Okay. This is Stella's, SSEN-CA. She's always talking back and forth, and she's always talking about SSEN EDU. So she's always putting that in. And as you go down, I just want to show you the venue here. Keep going, scroll down more, a little bit more. Oh, there's Manuela from the radio station. Just keep going down, Rodolfo. This is a great memory, and Estella tweeted it out. You were there. Perfect. So that's that right there is a picture of success. A Spanish woman, Neva Martina, is becoming she works at NASA, right? She's a scientist that sends people into space, and she was at one of these things. So that was a really good thing about achieving all our dreams. And as you go down a little bit more, you'll see that. Scroll down a little bit more. There we go. Just a little bit more. Stella's been putting out a whole bunch of things. Success, that's what it's all about. I put that out. Anyway, as you go down there for more, I don't need to get it to show you. There's a picture of the venue at University of Toronto Engineering, and when we went down for the meeting and stuff like that. So that's an example of how we can do this. So what can we all do? Here's the easy way to remember. I just want you to remember one thing. Use SSEN EDU hashtag. The other thing is, if you go onto the Spanish speaking education website, which is ssen.ca. Can you just take in ssen.ca? There's the Spanish Speaking Education Network website. All of the social media sites are there. Okay, as soon as we get the poster for the Congress, we're going to do a Facebook event for it. And anybody here that would like to kind of manage that, and we'll make you an administrator of the Facebook page so that you can manage that, and you can put things out in Spanish and English. If you want to see today's YouTube, you just go on the website, you can click on YouTube, and you'll be able to see the YouTube channel where everything's coming out. And it is on there. I'll make sure that it's all right.
Oh, because that's Stella's account. No,
I gotta go to the other one. I gotta link a different account to it. But the bottom line is they're out there, and all the Google Plus. If you go to the Google Plus right there, that goes to the Google Plus page for Spanish Speaking Education Network, and if you go to right down here, there's the videos for today right there. They're all on there. And all you got to do is hit play, and you can hear what was said, and you can share it with other people. Okay? Has anybody got some questions?
Any advice on how the students can promote? Okay.
Further,
November 8th.
yeah, drive. See this poster? That was for the last event that we did at for STEM at York Memorial. So where this is right now, it'll be replaced with that Congress thing. So always drive traffic to there. Tell people to go check out ssen.ca website, and you can click on that and share it. This is a real social media friendly sharing website, so you can just click on the things and share it onto your Facebook and things like that and say, I'm involved, I'm volunteering. Sometimes people think, oh, it's not cool, right? Because we're always used to putting stuff out that's kind of, making us look, hip and cool and stuff like this. Well, education is hip and cool. It really is hip and cool, because if you want to get to where Dolly's at, if you want to get to where Estella's at, where Rudolph's going, where I'm at, where Rosie is, you have to you have to present yourself in a really decent way. And anything that you put online is online forever. So the more good things that you can put online about yourself, where you're doing volunteer work and you're doing positive and good things for yourself and the community, the better chance you're going to be able to become that astronaut. You know, and it is possible. Like at these events, you're actually shaking hands with some of these major people that are doing all this type of stuff, and you're looking at yourself in the mirror saying, you know what, they did it, I can do it, right? And that's what it's all about.
One question is that we were discussing the last event and Tony sent first panel on May 31st. So basically YouTube or somehow the presentation in the network. And then I remember we discussed it that on November 8th in the Congress presentation, we can reach in the whole entire world if we want to.
Yeah, we are going to do live streaming just like we're doing here at the Congress. So if you have people there, we will have it all laid out as to who's going to do what and when, and people can watch live. The good thing about live streaming like we're doing here is as soon as it's done, it archives on YouTube. It stays there. So you can go home and watch it on your own time. If something tweaked your you know, say something about what Estella said here today, you know, you don't want to watch the whole video, but you know, like halfway through, Estella said something really neat and you want to show somebody, you can just go to YouTube and actually go halfway through the YouTube video, find the part and show it to somebody. So it's all, what you can do is actually take some of the content that's already out there, and now that you really know what's going on, there's a concept in social media that a lady by the name of Liz Strauss, she's from Chicago, I heard her say this. She said, talk to the people that are already listening, and your influence will grow. Right? So we've got a small group here. We're listening. We're here. We're volunteering. We're engaged. We're doing our thing. We're going to sign up for all these different jobs, and our influence will grow. And instead of, the reason why I went to Stella's event first time way back when was because we had such a gang problem, and I saw so many Spanish kids going into gangs as a police officer. So we got to stop this somehow. We got to do something different. And Estella, to be honest with you, she didn't want me there. She didn't want me there because I was a police officer, and she said all my community will leave if you're here. Well, now we're here together again and again and again and again, and now we got Rudolph, right? And now Rudolph is saying, he's sitting there saying, I really like the work that the Spanish-speaking education network's doing, right? Well, Rudolph, do you want to finish it off here and just say a few little things, or?
I'm okay.
You're okay? Okay, he's okay.
Next time.
I'm going to turn the camera off. I need to get going. And I think, Rudolph, you're getting a ride from Estella. Okay. But I really, really want to encourage you to sign up here. And I really want you to know that more than just me are behind you at the Toronto Police Service. Everything that I just explained about social media, that's what I do every day. If there's an emergency out there, it's probably me posting about it, or somebody that's on my team that's posting about it into social media. And how quickly this works is, if there's an emergency, say the Downsview Library was on fire where we're at right now or something like that, if I were to put out on Twitter, on that Toronto Police account, that everybody's evacuated and everybody's safe, 30 seconds later you would hear that being read on all the news channels. That's how quick and fast this stuff is. And if it was a major event and we were looking for like a missing person, or let's say it was an ice storm, we've all lived that here, we'll start up a hashtag, just like we've started up a hashtag for this event. We'll say follow this hashtag, because if say it's an ice storm, you would want to hear what the people at Hydro were saying. You would want to hear what the people on the TTC are saying. You would want to hear what the people on the GO trains are saying. You want to hear what the police are saying. You also want to hear what the other people in the area are saying. So everybody starts talking and using that hashtag, whatever it is, and it's the common hailing frequency. We can just look on our phones really quickly and figure out what's going on around us. All right, so just one final thing. If you, I know we're talking about Spanish Speaking Education Network, but this is where Rudolph is working with me. That's the Toronto Police website. And just so you guys know, like it's our office where Rudolph works that we post all these stories from, and he's part of our team that's helping take all these pictures and stuff like that. And there's all of our social media sites right there. And as you scroll down, if there is ever an emergency, I always want to throw this in. Right here is the social feeds for every single Toronto Police that's actually tweeting and saying something and doing something here. And it's really great that that tweet that I did is on the front page of the Toronto Police website right now. And if you click on there, why Spanish Speaking Education Network formed, that's why we're here. We don't want kids to drop out. We want you guys to be successful, and we're trying to give you the tools to be that way. So what can you do? It's just spread the word. Spread the word and have your voice, have your say. Okay?
Don't leave that. We don't like to take a picture, group picture.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Maybe you can.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of all you guys.
Okay, come. I mean, you too. You went in the middle.
We'll do a selfie?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, come everybody.
Okay.
Come everybody. Todo el mundo, todo el mundo. Okay. Todas saltas atrás.